fun-filled episode of Good Dawning with and family with Mr. Floyd and family. You are all the family. Of course, we have a channeling family too. So, but grateful up to 609. Slow and steady wins the race. I've never heard anything but. Nobody's never got a tarot reading so this thing's going to go incredibly viral. I might at some point, but who knows? But slow and steady is all I ever hear. So that's winning the race. Grateful. Pardon me. Grateful to have you all here, and grateful that you guys pile in. And, grateful for last night, Laura. Is Laura B in the chat? She is not, but she might be. But either way, if you watched us last night, Tuesday Night Live, we had Laura B on with What's Up, and she did her tarot cards and oracle, and fantastic as always. So we want to thank you to Laura B, and we will have her on. I just got to figure it out. It might even be next Tuesday night, but I just need to figure out some scheduling stuff, and we will have Laura on again. And if you have anything, like we had Chris on, Chris, though, actually next Tuesday night, come to think of it, maybe I will send an email to Blindly Inspired. She talks about feng shui. And we had an interesting conversation about feng shui and other things. So maybe I'll send a message to her for Tuesday Night Live. But if you watched us last night, thank you. Laura was amazing as always. And we are always grateful to have her on. And will again within the next week or so. Possibly next Thursday night, actually, depending on my work schedule. Just trying to maybe pick up a second night. Who knows? But we're grateful that you're here. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Margaret, good dawning. Jim Renee, and you got a reading yesterday. Favor. I'm going to start using my tarot cards again. Just got an Akashic Oracle. Oh, nice. Awesome. Hey, if you want to do readings, send an email. All right. Grace, good dawning. Love and favor, Josh and everyone. It is a beautiful day, is it not? Jean Benet. Those 2 tears always help to negative chemicals out of our body. Yes, tears. Beautiful, Helene. I like that. All right. And Chris. And if you're not checking Chris daily now, he's doing a, pardon me, Chris the volunteer. I always wake up with a phlegmy throat. Nice time of year. I'm going to cancel that. Chris the volunteer is doing daily cards with Archangel Gabriel. He works with Gabriel. He does a channeling on there as well. I said it was a verbal channeling. And I did see your message there. So it was a verbal channeling. I got to reply. But Chris, thank you. And but it was transcribed. But yeah, that's just blessed. If you ever need help or want help doing verbal, like getting it all set up, I can help you out there. Chloe, good dawning. Welcome. Driving. So big driving favor there. May your car be in a bubble of light there, Chloe. Grateful. And Helene. All right. So, Laura, thank you. There we are. Grand Rising, Laura. Good dawning. Thank you again, Laura, for last night. That was awesome. You are rather gifted there, to say the least. And we are really grateful to have you share your gift of seeing with us. And I will send you an email in the next day, next week, and we'll get that set up. I'm thinking maybe Thursday night. If that works, but we shall see. Cricket, good dawning. Yanksy, good dawning as well. And Dola, good dawning. Hope Archangel Raphael and his workbook there is working out for you and bringing you really closer to yourself. It's not even closer to Archangel Raphael. All these things are just to get you closer to yourself. So we're going to do another invocation for Milton today because it's and FEMA's saying it has no money, but we can give favor. Gotta love the universe we're in, and not saying anything. You just gotta love it. FEMA got no money, but well, come on, join us in good old the United States of America. Favor. You're in Florida. Big hugs, big love, and maybe FEMA will figure it out and find some money. It is an election year, so you'd think they'd figure out to find some money, right? They're not going to be that abandoned to the American citizen. Well, actually, FEMA may be more of a campy space than a place to take care of those in a in a weather situation, they may be more of those who like to set up camps, but we don't want to discuss going to camp with FEMA. We want to hopefully discuss them giving more than $750 to Floridians, people, or at least those in Helene. But love. So yeah, we're gonna do an invocation, another one for Hurricane Milton there, and we also have these are the cards that I got from Millie, the Light Info, the Light Sears Tarot. There we go, and it's a gray deck, right? And we're all really gray because we have a dark and a light. We integrate the dark within our light, but we don't get rid of the dark. If you get rid of your dark, then yeah, you have to be both. So yeah, and then we will work on our project as well. And so let's pull some cards here real quick and see what the energies are showing us for today. So I'm going to cut the deck here, and grateful that you're here. And yeah, let's see what we get here. So we'll stack them up. And all right, wham! All right, gem it out there with the High Priestess as the bottom card. How awesome is that? Really not much to say on that. All right, reach for your highest self. That's pretty good. Already starting off pretty awesome. All right, so let's see. We're gonna take 3, right? 1, 2, and 3. All right, put the deck away. And this is number 1. I'm not even seeing it. It is upside down. The World. So, oh, wow. So we have the High Priestess and the World. Does it get much better? Let's see here. It might. Yes, it actually does. It's not a ton of money, but it is the 6 of Pentacles. The High Priestess. So you have money coming your way. When you realize that you are the High Priestess is your goal here, and the World is your oyster. You get a little bit of Pentacles in your pocket. All right. Woohoo! But are you allowing them to just give you some money? Can you allow yourself to reach for your 9 of Pentacles? Ooh, good cards. All right. So there's a lot of change coming here. If you're seeing into the cards here. So we're gonna do this one more time. Let's see. I read them a little different. I'm not going to tell you the future. You have to interpret it into your life. If I grab my original deck and I'm a one-on-one person, I can actually see things. I don't read it from face. I read it from intuition at that point. But in this case, it's more of a group setting. I do it in a different way. But if we had a one-on-one, then I could actually like, oh, you're doing this, and I see your house, and things like that. And I would be with my original. I'll show you my deck at one point. I don't use my hardcore tarot deck that often unless I'm in a one-on-one situation. All right, so that is the High Priestess. All right, with reaching for, you're at least getting some pentacles. You're seen, right? But you really want to be seen, the World, right? So you want to reach up. Then you can reach for what's really yours, your 9 of Pentacles. Don't settle for this. Don't settle for that because you are this. There you go. All right. Once you realize that you're that, then you can reach for a 9 of Pentacles instead. I'd much rather reach for a 9 of Pentacles. Not a 10, but it's a 9. That's pretty good. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Millie, for the deck. And thank you to the energies. It's looking good. Financially, it's looking good. And if it's not looking financially good, or if you don't think it is in your future or in your universe, then make sure to tell yourself and tell your universe that even if you're in a drought financially, just remember it's only temporary and allow that to be. Don't think of it as permanent. Nothing in your life's ever been permanent, has it? Unless you like lost your legs or something, favor. But nothing in your life's ever really been permanent, has it? So anything's just a temporary situation. Blindly inspired. Good dawning. And yeah, I'm going to send you an email. Maybe have you on Tuesday evening. Although it'd be really late, so we'll have to discuss that. 5 o'clock would be 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. your time. So we may discuss that. But either way, I wouldn't want you to have to get up that early to be on with our prime time. But either way. All right, so we're going to do let's do our 15-second project real quick so we can get that out of the way. It usually takes like 3 minutes. But then we're going to do an invocation for Milton, because we are a force of energy. There's 15 of us here, so that's 15 concentrated bits of energy that can send love to Florida there. And so if you've not joined us before, what we're going to do, we've been grounding into what Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Esther Hicks as well, and Greg Braden. They've all pretty much know the science there. It's 15 seconds to the greater source field creates what you want in the physical. You have to do 20% of the work. You have to lean towards it. You have to take directions towards it. You can't just be like, I want a Ferrari. Where's my Ferrari? 3 months later. Per se, it could happen, but then it may not. You have to at least start doing work towards earning a Ferrari, right? But the universe, if that's what you want, would support you for that. But you have to support yourself in what you're doing as well. So you have to do 20% of the work. At least lean your energies in towards somehow earning a Ferrari, right? All right, so what we do is if you don't have anything, if you're new with us, or if you're watching in the rewind or in replay, all you need to do is pause the video. It takes a minute. Figure out what you want. What are you looking for in your universe? What are you lacking, or you feel you're lacking? You're never in lack, but we always feel that we're in lack. So you can do that. Convert it to abundance, right? So if you maybe only have $50 in the bank, so convert that to 5,000 in the bank and see that. Maybe you're not happy with your job. You can manifest yourself a new job. It's whatever works for you. And all you have to do is see it and feel it, however you want to. You can put it in a picture on inside of your house. See yourself driving it. See yourself cashing in the check. Whatever works for you in your universe. You could see somebody else being happy. Maybe it's not for you. You're manifesting for somebody else. Although you never know. But either way, we're going to take 15 seconds here and ground into our project. So if you're driving, like Chloe there, do not close your eyes. Just visualize it or just say it out loud. I am enjoying. You can do it out loud too. This is all energetics, right? So I am enjoying my new Ferrari. In my case, maybe I am enjoying my purple Toyota Tundra with St. Germain license plates, right? And there you go. And purple cup. And so I see myself. I am enjoying my Toyota Tundra. I am grateful to have my Toyota Tundra. It feels amazing. You can do that just as well. It's all about energetics, and that's what we're trying to teach you here as well. There's no specific set anything. We're making all this up anyways. There's set energetic rules, but otherwise you make it up how you do it otherwise. Lindsay, good dunning. Margaret, Laura B, awesome job on reading yesterday. Yes, it was. I've seen you around here, Margaret, so we're going to give you. All right, Margaret, if you type that you are a standard moderator, and Lindsay as well. Lindsay, I've seen you around, so we're going to standard moderator. All right, thank you guys. And so let's go ahead, take a deep breath with me if you can. Breathe in. It's the quickest way to center yourself is with your breath. So breathe in. One more. In through the nose, out through the nose. All right. So take 15 seconds, however you've been doing so in the dawning, and ground into and visualize your November 11th manifestation. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do so. And it's 11. There we go. 13:45. So we'll take it to 14 seconds or 14 minutes. We are manifesting, we're visualizing, we're driving our Toyota Tundra. Whatever you've got for November 11th, we're bringing it into frame. All right, so we actually took 25 seconds. So it was a little bit longer there, but either way. All right. And so what we've been doing, of course, is working with energetics. And what are we but energetics in a group, right? There's 20 of us here. So we're not just one beam of energy, we're 20. So it's like a larger flashlight, right? The more people you have concentrated, the more energy you can move, right? Exactly. So what we're going to do as the 19 of us, 20 of us, you never know you can't do a real head count. You never know what's really real on the tube as far as numbers go. I've learned that. And what we're going to do is take another minute here, and we're going to do an invocation. Or meditation, I should say meditation. And I'm going to try something different here. So if it comes off a little choppy, everything here is new. Everything I am doing here, I've been doing this for 4 months and a week now, almost a week. And this is all new. We are all winging it on Earth, right? Generally speaking, there's no instruction manual. So I will try a meditation. I am not Terry at Holding Your Space, who does it well. I did it the first time and then realized meditations may not be my forte. And that's why we switched to energetics, like cord cutting and such. But the first one was good because you imagine your house being clean, right? So there you go. All right, so we're going to close our eyes if you can. If you're driving, please do not close your eyes, as though energetics happen when you're driving, for sure. That's why we're the most centered in one of the most centered places in your universe is in the car. Because if you're not rather centered in the car, then the energetics will you'll be centered in the dashboard. Favor. Exactly. All right, so let's again take another quick deep breath here. I loved your. I know you did, Helene, and I appreciate that because but I don't know. It was just thank you, and I still remember it too because it was like the clean house meditation. We'll do it again. It was kind of funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like things like that. I appreciate that's like support. And I saw and I need to reply to your email, Helene. Thank you. I'm slow at replying to emails. I'm going to state that. But I have a follow-up call today with somebody, so I will work on emails. And Helene gets a reply to. And thank you. All right, so take a deep breath and a release. And you're on Blindly Inspired. Would it? I don't know. I'll ask you since you're here Tuesday night. It'd be like 5 o'clock, which is 5, 10, 11, 12. It'd be 2 a.m. your time, so that's probably too late. But I'll put it out there if you want to be on Tuesday. And if not, understandable. We can move it down into the daylight and bring in Laura. But either way. All right, so we're going to do a meditation for Hurricane Milton. So close your eyes and imagine we're in a boat. There we go. We're in a boat in the Gulf of Mexico. And we're coming up. We're in the boat. We're all in the boat together, right? Calm seas. There's Milton off to the left, right? Let's all be on that boat and hold up our arms and put up some energy. Let me do this a little differently. We're going to put up some energy to Milton and ask it to not, however you want to do so, but ask it to not hit Florida or Yucatan Peninsula either. Just because, we'd rather it hit, I've heard that today, we'd rather it hit the Yucatan Peninsula than Florida. People are people. It doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, be more damage in Florida, but a home's a home, whether it's built on the Yucatan Peninsula and it's really a rich house or a hut, so to speak, or it's an apartment complex in Tampa, Florida. Home's a home. We're all human. We never wish that. I'd rather it hit Mexico. Favor. No, I do not rather it hit Mexico. And that's not nice. I say nice, but that's not part of the human family to send it over there instead. There is still here. It's all the same. It's just be grateful you weren't born on although it could be beautiful. You're in the United States, not in the Yucatan, right? Although it could be beautiful. It could be the best place in the world to live. Don't give somebody else your problems. Don't wish your hurricane on somebody else's back door. You want karma to come back and smack you. All those weather people are like, it'd be better if it hit the Yucatan. At least it won't hit Florida. Ooh, that's an energetic karma here. So we're in our boat, right? So what we're going to do is create an energetic force field. So imagine yourself. We're all in a boat. We're all along the side of the boat, and we can see Milton off on the horizon, lightning. But where we are, it's calm water. If you look to the right, you see nothing but sunshine. If you look north, you see Milton. But if you look off to your right or look behind you, it's sunshine. It's beautiful. And so we're going to hold up our hands and we're going to put an energetic force field, right? So we're just blocking Milton. So see us, we're on the boat. We're pushing that energy. Milton, no more. We see it. We're sending it go away energy. We're asking Milton to dissolve. We're seeing it off to the horizon, but we're seeing it disintegrate, right? So we're seeing those dark skies and all that lightning. You're seeing it from the boat. We're sending it love. Milton, please. And thank you for dissolving. You've done enough. We know what the world does not need to know what a Cat 5, low Cat 6 would be hurricane. We don't need to know those energetics. More peace. And we see it, right? We see Milton off to the north dissolving and disintegrating in the sun, starting to peek through. And we see the birds starting to fly. The lightning is dissolving as we send more energy into Milton. And as we send that energy into Milton, we see it dissolve even further into nothing. And we just see blue sky. So what we saw as storm clouds to the north and lightning, we now see blue sky as we are dissolving Milton into love and into light. And now Milton is gone, and we're on the boat and just enjoyed the sunshine and the beautiful rays and the wonderful water. And we can look north now and see Milton as nothing but beautiful sunshine and crisp, clear, flat, beautiful, no excitement Gulf of Mexico water. All right. You can open your eyes and bring yourself back. Thank you for helping to disintegrate Milton. And thank you, Saint Germain, for helping to guide that, because I didn't really know where I was going there. And so it is, exactly. Thank you. Yes. Instead of protecting Florida, we're just going to dissolve Milton. That works just as well. Good dunning, Mary. And when Mary's here, everybody wins. You know that, right? Thank you. If you're just joining us, we just dissolved Hurricane Milton. We did a meditation. We were leaning on a boat in the Gulf of Mexico, disintegrating Milton. So if you see Milton on a satellite photo, if you're watching the news, Avery, you're not. If you're watching Josh's severe weather, there you go. Check him out. I was looking for stuff on the hurricane, right? Just to send it love and see where it's going. And it was Josh's severe weather. He's an actual meteorologist, and he's really good. And then, of course, Adam put something up as well. He's a trained meteorologist, and I am a partially trained meteorologist. I took a meteorology class in college and studied meteorology as an air traffic controller in the Army. So, all right. So we're going to do a little bit of cord cutting as well. So this is all the show of energetics, right? So we're moving energies in lots of different ways. We're moving energies by seeing what the universe is telling us through cards. We're moving energies by disintegrating that Milton thing in the water. I'm not even giving it credence, right? Just by saying Hurricane Milton, you do realize you're giving it more credence than it needs to be. So even acknowledging, oh, there's a hurricane named Milton. Well, you're just putting it on planet Earth. If we say there's no hurricane named Milton, I don't know, Milton Schmilton, not in my universe. It's a little, just like, yeah, I mean, we're not delusional. We know it's, but we're not trying to bring any more energy to it than it needs to be. It's like there's a mass shooting, right? You don't want to bring it more energy by like, here's the guy who did it and plaster their face everywhere. Favor. You don't want to do that at all because it just gives them what they want. Milton, you're not getting any fame around here, Hurricane M, whatever. Nonetheless. But by repeating its name, you are giving it more energetics. And by everybody repeating its name, so to speak, on the planet right now, it actually helps to fuel that in a twisted way. So keep that in mind. All the fear that is running around on the planet about the current situation in the Gulf, there we go. People, when you run around in fear, when you put fear to that, you can't literally give it more Cat 5 than what it is, but at the same time, you're feeding the energetics of it and the whole situation. You're ginning it up. Instead of tampering it down, the fear makes it worse in the long run. And all of us, it's all living toroidal field. So if you have more people in fear of the hurricane that's coming down the pike, or putting out those fear and dark energies, I'm seeing it counters what we're doing as far as breaking it up and all that. But it adds to it. There's two ways you can add to it, right? 5D or 3D. You can add to it energetically from in fear and try to make it larger than it is. And we're not saying we're controlling it, but at the same time, it is a living toroidal field. We don't control the weather, but imagine if more people came out and just dissolved Hurricane Milton versus ran around in fear or kept telling you. Even worse is what they're telling you it's going to do. I'm going to bring in Saint Germain here on this one. If you are telling the universe, hey, we have a hurricane, Saint Germain here, right? We have a hurricane and it is going to boom, boom, boom. Why are you creating that for your planet? Why are you stating out loud? You have to give a track to this storm, right? but you are saying it's going to cause this and that. Are you trying to create that in your universe? By saying this storm is going to create devastation, or it's going to do this. We are just using this as an example. Are you ginning that up? Are you putting that further into the universe, into the atmosphere so that that can happen? Are you trying to warn people? There's one way to warn people, but by saying, as you are hearing, and people do not understand that your universe is full of spells, right? You are speaking, you are creating spells. So if you are sitting in your universe and you are going, this hurricane is going to cause massive damage. We are using this as an example, not creating energetics. The hurricane is going to be massive. It's going to cause crazy flooding. It's going to be the worst thing ever. Well, why are you trying to create that for Tampa? Is there something you want to have happen? You could say it has a possibility of being, but you are saying that this is going to happen. You are stating this as, and whether it is or not, by stating that as matter of fact, you are putting energetics behind that into the greater source field. Do you all understand what you are creating by doing so? I do not think you really do. You might if you've been watching us, but I don't think the larger source field does. If the larger source field, the newsman would be saying, we are not wishing this to come to Tampa. You are understanding why. If you are in Tampa, you might want to leave, but we are not going to state what could happen if it comes to Tampa. We are hoping that it does not, and we are putting energetic blocks to it. That would be a much higher brow news than saying, oh, if you are in Tampa, you are going to be devastated. Your homes are going to be destroyed, and you are going to be flooded. Whether that is the case or not, putting those words out there create more energetics of that happening and more possibility. And if you want that in your universe, in your grander source field, keep saying that, weather people and all of you out there in the universe. You are going to help to create that situation, because what else can happen if a majority of people are saying it is going to destroy, it is going to flood, and it is go. Well, okay, the earth is a toroidal field that will reciprocate that energetic and bring it to you and show you that, yes, the earth is going to, and it is going to, and it had to. Why? Because you stated it as a general populace. Are you understanding? If the larger earth, the larger population of earth, the larger universes state to the grander source field that Tampa is going to be destroyed, what is going to happen? Are you in understanding? Please do not be saying that Tampa is going to be anything other than peaceful and loved. Tampa is going to be fine. Tampa is going to be the most amazing city on the west coast of Florida, right? The largest one for sure. And is going to have the Buccaneers for a long time. Tampa is not going anywhere and is not going to be swamped by its bay, right? Change your energetics. If you want to see this thing in a better light, why are you stating that and running around conflating that it's going to do anything? First off, you are not the hurricane. And secondly, do you want to create those energetics? Because remember, we, as a grand source field, we as humans, move energetics. So if the majority of you are stating that Tampa is going to be swamped by the hurricane, favor, may you one day humanity will wake up and realize what it is doing, what it is saying, and the greater collective field and what it has created on this planet. You are about the lie that nuclear weapons are there to protect you. So you are like, we have our nuclear to protect us. Another lie in the grander source field, right? But you better hold on to that, because if you are saying anything else, then there you go. You create things on this planet that leave you in a dovish state energetically. You do realize that if you are not balanced in the energetics, you ruin it. It all goes bye-bye, right? So keep that in mind. Most would not build something that you could make you go bye-bye because you think it's going to protect you. That is living out of the ultimate fear, but humans are living out of the ultimate fear by running around stating that this hurricane is going to destroy. That is fear. You are stating that because you are having a hard time processing that, but you don't have to process that. You could just see the hurricane as not destroying anything. But since all of you, and if we are in a grander living toroidal field, then 50%, we could get a larger energetic to say, what hurricane? There is nothing getting destroyed in Tampa in my universe, right? Maybe it doesn't happen so badly, or maybe it doesn't happen at all. Or maybe it's just a rain event, or maybe it fizzles out, right? The wind shear picks up, right? We don't know these things. Or it gets to the coast and the water somehow is miraculously cold. Nonetheless, what energetics are you putting out there to the greater source field? And what are you holding up, per se, that may not be the best thing to hold up? Like, I'm not going to say voting or anything, but what are you propping up with your energetics there that you could be propping up things that you don't even realize you are propping up? And you are part of. You do realize that, right? All right, so we're going to send you back to Josh there, but that was our channeling for today. We're going to do, actually, we would do this right here. We are going to do our card cutting, right? So what we are going to do is cut the energetics that we are hearing out in the world that Milton is going to do anything negative to Tampa, Florida. How's that? That is what we are going to cut today. Are you ready? So we have done card cutting before, right? We have done energetic cutting before. You are all hearing that Milton will do X, Y, and Z, right? Am I correct? Yes. Milton will do nothing of these thoughts. Why? Because we are going to cut the energetics that we've been hearing about Milton destroying this or destroying that, so that we are clear vessels for Milton being of love and of peace and dissolving in the Gulf of Mexico, right? So there we go. We are going to be better energetics. So we are going to work on from our end. You saw the light pillar. So we are going to work from our end then to cut the energetic cards that we have been hearing that Milton will do anything negative to this world, right? That is how you work to be positive to the universe here. We are not going to talk in negatives or damage or destruction or gusts of Cat 6, possibly the highest, the fastest hurricane, the tightest hurricane, whatever it is. We don't care. We love it. And we are sending it love, and we are seeing it dissolve, right? And we are cutting. So let's go ahead and do so. And cutting energetics means all we have to do is cut the card, right? And shoop. So we are saying, Hurricane Milton is going to destroy Florida. We can do this together, right? Pull that card out. No, it's not. I didn't hear that. Cut the card. Hurricane Milton is going to cause massive flooding in Tampa Bay. We're going to erase that. So write it on the chalkboard. Flooding in Tampa Bay, right? We are erasing that. We're doing this together today with Saint Germain. Hurricane Milton is going to cause massive destruction across the state, and Disney World could be obliterated, right? You've heard that too. They're talking about Disney World being destroyed for a year, maybe even longer. Just poof. No more SeaWorld. And ooh, you can no longer go to Harry Potter land, right? Ooh, that's just not going to be fun. You need these things in your universe. You have to have creative fun as well. Otherwise, you lose your mind in this place. The energetics on your planet are insane, right? You know that. That's why you are watching this. So gain some sanity in the energetics and how this place works. So let's see then. We are going to say, not in our universe. Repeat after me. Not in my either way. It's all our universe. Not in my universe will we see Disney World destroyed. You may not like the politics of it, or you may have other questions about Disney World, as we all do. But we all need to have a magic place to go to have a kingdom, right? We need some place to go to have some fun on this planet. We don't want to see it destroyed. So we're going to cut those energetics. So those who are saying that the storm is going to cause a swath across Florida that will look like just nothing but destruction. No, we are erasing that. And those who are saying that it's going to be the most expensive disaster, we've heard that too, right? We are pulling those energetics out. Not in our universe are we going to see that, right? We see the greater source field. In my greater source field, I do not see that. It does not come back to me in that. Can you say that? Not in my universe. There we go. All right. Saint Germain is grateful that you are here and that you listen and that you are part of all of this. And we're going to return it back to Josh here and get to see where we go from here. But we are grateful for you in your universe. And we are grateful. We may have a little bit more here. That you are listening and that you are part of this and that you are working to change your universe and to change the energetics of your universe and what you are seeing in your universe and what you are seeing in the greater source field. You have a choice to join the greater energetics of this is going to destroy, or you have a choice to be, no, this is not going to, not in my universe will this destroy anything at all. This hurricane is based upon our fears and our angers and who knows what else, but nonetheless, not in my universe. Tampa Bay is beautiful. Say that and keep seeing that. They're not going to play into those darker energetics on this planet that are trying to steer humanity, right? You don't want to be a part of that. So do not think like the collective. You are not part of, we are a grander source field, but you are an individual already or field within yourself. You are your own universe and your own unique slice of sauce. So be that. Do not think like the sheep. Do not gather with the tribe, so to speak, that and allow your energetics to be in fear that Tampa is going to be destroyed. You are stronger than that, and you realize in your universe, you choose what you see. You choose the energetics of your universe. You choose your life. You choose what you want in your universe. And do you want a Tampa that is destroyed? No. We are going to put as much love as we can to that not happening. There we go. All right. I'm back. Doesn't always release transmission. Sometimes I'm just back. And it's like, woo. That's why you see me shake it. Like, poof. You can feel it too. If you were in my body, you'd feel it like, poof. All right, hello. It's like a kind of like a kick inside me. It's weird. Yeah, so from Saint Germain there. Thank you, Saint Germain. Yeah, when you're hearing the people talking about the hurricane's going to be, well, they're casting a spell. They're putting out there that wait, you could stop and ask them, do you really want to see that? Then why are you stating that? Are you looking for that? Is that the universe you're looking to live in? Because people do not understand, most people do not understand the energetics of words. Why we call it spelling at work, right? Or at school. You went to spelling class, right? In English, right? Exactly. Words cast spells. And the greater source field right now is casting a terrible spell against, but a heavy energetic spell against Tampa and Florida. Whether that's being done with purpose or not, we don't know. But we know the energetics of where we live. So there's everything energetically on this planet generally is always questionable and always just grounded into what is love in you. Because everything else we don't know. And we really, I don't know, I just watched a video with Michio Kaku, the Asian physicist, talking about weather and steering hurricanes. So I have no idea about anything. You just send it love. You can sit here and try to pick it apart and go, well, it's Florida, it's an election year, and it's a hurricane. Or you can just say, I love you. This is not happening. All right. So we're going to do some energetic work. This is a sodalite pillar here. And sodalite works with creativity. Your third, your sacral chakra and your third eye. Sacral chakra is that's what Chris's bowl, right? So the sacral chakra is what works to you have to clear your sacral chakra to get to be able to like create, right? So if you have a blocked sacral chakra, then creation is really hard because of that, and that's your seat of creation. So it's usually due to your broken inner child. So your third sacral chakra is due to your inner child being broken, and it all ties together. And that's why generally people do not create their universes, because they've already been destroyed. Their inner child, they're destroyed internally, energetically. And it all ties to wounded sacral chakra. So if you want to heal that, of course, you can listen to Christy Volunteer's Bowl. But we're going to work with the sodalite pillar today. And then we'll do a little bit, finish off with a little bit more of my hitchhiking story. I spent good majority of 2001 hitchhiking across the United States. So when I talk about like the living universe, it comes from experiences that I've had. And if you slow down in your universe, you'll see it as well. But it truly comes from, there's like a couple of main experiences, one of which was being able to drive, like we said yesterday, my hitch from Columbus, Ohio, all the way to Ithaca, New York. I drove my own hitch in a stick shift truck, Ford F-250. And the guy I never did mention this, the guy was sleeping the entire time. So not only did he not know me, he trusted me with his keys. His wallet was sitting right next to me. $10, he gave me $10 to stop if I wanted anything. But nonetheless, the guy was sleeping. But yeah, so let's work with the sodalite pillar. What we do with the sodalite pillar, you may feel this in your sacral chakra. You may feel this in your third eye. For those of you who do YouTube, like Chris and Blindly Inspired, Millie, and whatnot, who are out there and have channels, or if you're in the public eye, if you're a public speaker, anything like that, you can wear a sodalite pendant. You can carry a piece of sodalite. You can keep this on your desk. Like I keep this here. I keep it right here on the ground, on the table when I'm doing the show, because it's so good. It's really good to like if you hold this when you're publicly speaking. If you ever have to publicly speak, get a tumbled sodalite. It's a small piece and hold it or put it in your pocket, knowing that it's there. Really good for energetic flow when you're speaking. It starts being tied to the higher universe, of course, tied to your higher self, really. But nonetheless, for public speaking, but this good confidence instiller. I mean, you have to have the confidence within you, but it'll mirror that and help to amplify that if you're public speaking or you have a public facing job. So let's work with the sodalite pillar, or in this case, the oblique, right? There we go. And anytime you see one of these, do keep in mind, anytime you see this shape in a city, you know where you are. Welcome to the order of the, yeah, you got it. All right, we're not going any further. But yes, if you see one of these, like in DC and Rome and London and whatnot, yes, exactly. There's a bunch of them around. There's one in Arvada. There's one in Lakewood. And they're all over the little towns in Colorado as well, right in the town center. So they tell you, hey, we're don't forget about us. We're part of you, so to speak, if you understand this, right? Exactly. We're not going there. The Washington Monument. Why does Washington need an oblique? But, we talk in code around here. We still haven't forgotten about or shooting the proverbial stuff with Saint Germain on our Rumble. And we will. Rumble right now is actually dealing with stuff. They were in South Carolina. They got punched by the hurricane. And Rumble right now is not the best time to start a Rumble channel because they're dealing with server issues. Favorited them. They're not. They're fixing their server and They're fixing their issues from the hurricane. All right. So this is sodalite again, and it works well with your sacral chakra. I can feel it in my sacral chakra. I don't know about you. Sodalite works really well if you are customer service and you have to see people. I saw one of these at a desk at the lady at the DMV once. She had a sodalite pillar next to it. And that makes a lot of sense if you've got to deal with the energetics of the public at the motor vehicle department. Sodalite is going to be very good and grounding, or you could use like shungite. I also picked up a new bracelet yesterday, which I'll show you in a minute. Since part of the show is crystals and energetics here. All right. Don't want to go up. All right. Yeah. So I did get a new bracelet, and I'll show you. I'll take my watch off real quick. This one is stuck to my wrist. All right. So this is green moonstone, which works for emotional balance, and it's a Cancer moonstone, emotional balance. The most perfect stone, right? And then this is black onyx, and then not exactly, just an ornament, most likely. But the moonstone, big deal. And wearing it on the right or on the left so that I can receive versus going to move I move the rose quartz to the left so that you can receive love versus just giving it on the right. And so, but yeah, so I'm going to add to, I'll keep working with the pillar here, but I can go into the hitchhiking. Yes. So I was talking to you yesterday about the living universe, and we've been talking about the living universe and how we live in a living universe. But to really accentuate that, I've been using examples of my life, right? And so in my case, when I was hitchhiking, there's a ton of living universe within hitchhiking. I told you the story about the guy about getting dropped off at the Rainbow Gathering in upstate New York in Ithaca. But even crazier, so I'm in Ithaca and I meet this guy named Sharp, right? And he's in wheelchair. His name's Wheels, actually, but he does sharpening of stones or of knives. There we go. While he's driving around in his van. Wheels, wheelchair, and he's from New York too. But anyways, he was going to Colorado, to the Four Corners region of Colorado. So more synchronicities, right? If you live in a living universe and you really let go, I never got stranded or anything. Talking about flow, if you're watching Jared's videos as well, Huda, he's showing that he's pretty well in the flow in Turkey there, where he's at. But from your end, or from my end, then I ended up catching a ride from Ithaca, New York, all the way, like a one-shot ride. So if you're hitchhiking and you get a one-shot ride anywhere, 2 one-shot rides, I got one ride all the way. It could have taken me days to get to Ithaca, New York, but I got there in like 12 hours. And then I got a one-shot ride all the way from Ithaca. So it's two hitches and 2 rides, 2 hitches, and I got from Colorado or Columbus to Ithaca, and then from Ithaca all the way to Durango, Colorado, which is in the southwest corner of Colorado for the Ignacio Nation's Class B motorcycle rally. So I went from a check this. So I went from a rainbow gathering, hanging out with hippies in the woods. Although I didn't stay in the woods the entire time, I hung out in Ithaca, but made friends and all kinds of stuff. It was fun. But ended up going to a Class B motorcycle rally. So I got a ride all the way across the country with the guy named Sharp or Wheels, and yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. So I end up at a motorcycle rally in Four Corners, Colorado, with my friend Jay, who I was hitchhiking with, and just more craziness. We end up getting there, and at night, and so the next day we're walking around, and there's this guy I actually had a help wanted sign up on his trailer, right, his food thing, and so we end up getting a job. So I'm hitchhiking, but I have a job now. And so I'm working at the Class B motorcycle rally from like 9 in the morning till like 7 at night. But I got paid really good money. So when you're hitchhiking, he was going to give you money. That's pretty awesome. So I got paid quite handsomely. But what's cooler is I got to meet all of the bikers and stuff. Right? So I can make a funnel cake. I learned how to make funnel cakes at the motorcycle rally. But what's cool is hanging out with the bikers, right? So I ended up at a book conversation. I was hitchhiking around. I was just sort of half awake, but not really. And so I was reading, and I'd read Conversations with God. If you've never read that, by Neil Donald Walsh, that's the book that for me, it kind of has that book that, ooh, wait a minute. That's my book, Conversations with God, where he was homeless, jobless, penniless, living in a park, essentially. Started screaming out, Neil Donald Walsh did, started screaming out to God, and he channeled a book, basically, and realized that, hey, you're Source. And so that was like, I always knew I was Source. When I was 5, I was telling people, and this is the case, when I was 5, I was like, I'm just God walking around so God can walk around. And I already had that intrinsic knowledge, but with all the trauma built up inside me, I couldn't do anything with it. You can know something, but have my life at one point. Favor. Big favor there if that's your life at any point. Yeah, but you can know intrinsically that you're Source. Like I knew it. I'm Source walking around. I would tell people at 5, I'm Source walking around on Earth so that Source can experience itself. So Source knows it's alive, right? I had that knowledge, but I had no feeling about it. It wasn't until I read Conversations with God that I began to start feeling even just an inkling of, oh, wait a minute, there's a feeling to that versus it just being a statement. Then you dervish off into your traumas, right? Yeah, I was so traumatized, I couldn't feel it. And I was also telling people at 5 that all of this, like going to work, getting up and going to work won't matter in my lifetime, is what I was telling people. And it looks like we may be headed towards that, but favor. But yeah, at 5, I'm telling people that, what do you want to be? It doesn't matter. Why? Because getting up and going to work won't matter. All of this is going away. And that's what I kept saying. And when I was 5 years old, and my grandfather's got it on me. Grandpa deceased now, but he had it on audio tape, all that stuff. But yeah, so I catch a ride all the way from, how do you do this, right? So I'm in Ithaca, New York, right? And I catch this ride. Oh, no gas money needed or anything. And so we just all the way to Four Corners, Colorado. And it was amazing. And somehow we ended up being at this show with the chief of, it's a kind of blurry. This was 2001. But I'm at this show, right? So the second night we're at this music show, and I'm hanging out and like smoking weed with the chief of the Ignacio tribe. And we were like up on stage singing with the band. And I don't even know how these things happen. And right. So it's like the craziest stuff. And yeah, and suffice to say, there was LSD, and it was a crazy night, but taking copious amounts of LSD in my universe there. So like Adam's talking, yeah, and even now, maybe once or twice a year, I'll still hang out with Lucy, so to speak. But nonetheless, You should have seen at the fish parking lot. It was like you could have bought a drugstore there with how much Lucy you need. It was insane. At the fish show this in October or September. But yeah, so I'm hanging out with the chief of the Ignacio Indian Reservation, and we're hanging out with this band on stage, singing. It was like crazy. Like, but yeah, that's the kind of experiences that I had. But we found the ride. Coincidentally, we left there and then found the ride to Chicago. So we caught a ride up to. He was going a different direction than we wanted to go. So we were actually trying to get back to Jay's mom's house, but she's in Missouri. But so we ended up catching another long stretch ride. So. And I never actually really had to hitch. 3 hitches so far. One all the way to Ithaca, New York. This is like your living universe, right? Another one ride all the way from Ithaca, New York to Colorado, to Four Corners, Colorado. And then one more ride back from Four Corners all the way to Chicago. Exactly. This is where I begin to see. And then, it didn't see it then, but it took me a little while once I stepped out of the hitchhiking and had some space there and could slow down. And the universe really is alive, that you really are supported, and it gets even crazier. And we'll go into that, how crazy it can really get. But I'll just say that we landed in Chicago after spending a couple of nights in a hotel. We took it one night. We went to a hotel. So I got to sleep in a hotel. And then we ended up, right. But yeah, I even used the money that I got from working at the sandwich wrap place and making funnel cakes. There we go. Making funnel cakes at the motorcycle rally. And I got to give a book. They didn't even tell you this. I gave my Conversations with God book, right? I gave that to the chief of the California, or the captain of the California Hells Angels. So there we go. That's fun. So he was the head of all of the Hells Angels in all of the state of California. I gave him, we had an interesting 1.5-hour conversation about God. And he wasn't really down with God. He was down with other things, but he was interested in the book. And if you have the captain, the head of all of the Hells Angels in all of California, wanting your conversations with God, and have another one behind you, you just give it to him. So I gave it to him, and maybe I planted a seed, right? Who knows? But it was quite interesting to break bread with the captain of all of the Hells Angels in California. But he knew stories about Grateful Dead and all this crazy stuff, running protection for dead shows and all kinds. It was awesome. The stories he were telling, but it was amazing. But and who knows? Maybe another life I might have known that guy. But it goes into my previous life. But it's just crazy stuff. But yeah, so we end up in Chicago, and I'm gonna pick that up tomorrow. But keep in mind when we land in Chicago, it's 9:10, not 9:11, but 9:10. So we end up in Chicago, and yeah, it gets even crazier. The synchronicities, and this is, what it's taught me is just a lot of ways. It's just to let go and let your universe kind of do what it's going to do. Let yourself go with it, because if you really do let go into your universe, right, and let it flow and trust, I'll tell you what, just to kind of cap this off here, in all the hitchhiking I did, it never rained. It did once. It drizzled on me, and it felt good, but it stopped really fast. But it never rained on me, so I never got wet. I never had to go, all right, where am I going to sleep tonight? And I never went without at least 2 meals a day. But I never had any money, except when I worked at the motorcycle rally. But even that, it goes away after a while. You spend it, right? So you're from Chicago? Really, where? Where are you at? My dad's in Buffalo Grove. I ended up getting dropped off Naperville somewhere. And we ended up going to a church to get travelers stipends, help us sort of deal. And then ended up downtown. But my dad's in Buffalo Grove right now. Not that I, plenty of offers to live there, but that's not where I want to be right now. Chicago right now is an interesting place, but in favor of him. Life is amazing, to say the least. All right, guys. Born there, lived in in Lakeville. Yeah, that's amazing. Fantastic. I don't get up there that often. Chicago is, I lived in Chicago in the 90s. That's when you want to be in Chicago, right? I lived there 92, 93, and 93, 94, really. 95. when Jordan was Chicago. That's when Chicago was the diggity. When you could go down Michigan Avenue and it was just packed and people and everybody was Jordan. And I got to go to a Bulls game and the Blackhawks. It was an amazing town at the time. Chicago has made a major turn and it's not the town it used to be. But back in the Jordan era, and the energetics of the Matrix were different. Being in a big city was that big hustle and bustle, and it was amazing. And now I wouldn't want to be near a big city, but yeah, living in Chicago was one of the greatest things ever at the time. Yeah, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end. It's been about an hour here, and we'll continue with the hitchhiking because yeah, I mean, who is this guy who's sitting here channeling Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain that you're watching? And what gives me any qualifications? I mean, just being human gives you a qualification to discuss energetics. You're in the same. You're in your own universe. They're all in our own same energetic type of universe, so to speak. It's what we do with our universes that matters. It's not. So when you look at somebody else and you go, "Well, how did they get that?" They know how to manipulate their universe. They know how to work with the energetics. Ask them. There's I'll remember her name tomorrow. There's a YouTube channel that, and it's driving me nuts. But she was sick of being poor, right? And I will remember her name and give it to you tomorrow, or maybe I'll post it in the community page. But she was sick of being poor. So she went to like the richest neighborhoods in like Beverly Hills and stuff. She went to the restaurants, the bars, the rich places. She went to the clubs where all the rich, like the private club. And she just walked in and be like, "You're rich. How did you do it?" Literally, that's what she did. And she found somebody, like some billionaire, said, "Yeah, I'll teach you." And now she works. She gave her a job and everything and said, "Okay, you want to be rich? I'll teach you." And so, yeah, crazy. But energetics, man. We're all in this unit. It's just about learning how to manipulate, move the energetics. Not even manipulate. Just live within the energetics of your toroidal field, and anything can happen. And that's what we're learning here. Nova Scotia. Who's from Nova Scotia up there? All right. I love New York City. I could see that, Henny. You're yes. If you have the energetics for it, but for myself, I used to be a big city guy, and now not so much. I'm actually on the corner, like in Longmont here. I'm on the corner. So if you go out of my apartment and you make a right, you'll see the Longs Peak and all the mountains in Rocky Mountain National Park. Not all of them, but you'll see the front face of Rocky Mountain National Park. But then that's the road. So if you go up my road and make a right, there's a traffic light, like a tenth of a mile down the street. And that's it. There's nothing. There's a farm across the street. And if you make a left, that's the main road off the highway. So during the summer, I can sit there and watch New York, Vermont, California, Texas, Rhode Island drive by, because it's the main road that you would take to get to Rocky Mountain National Park. You have to drive in the color and then go into. So yeah, you got to drive past my apartment to go to Rocky Mountain National Park. Not in a million years. When I was living in Chicago and hanging out downtown, did I think that I'd be living, grounding myself by the Rocky Mountain National Park? Not ever. If anything, my life experience has taught me that to never discount anything, to never question, could this happen or not? Because life is full of surprises. And sitting here doing this is the biggest surprise I ever had. Not in a million trillion years did I ever think I'd be channeling anything. So if you're sitting there going, "What's my dharma? What am I doing?" Well, I don't know anything, which is really the best thing, to not know anything. Because if you think you know something, then the universe is going to teach you real quick that you don't. I've learned that too. So my credo is I don't know anything and I'm just grateful. And with that, try carrying that. That's I say it all the time. It's like, I don't know. I'm just grateful. Really, and that's what it boils down to. Mountains. Yes. If I could cut down the building right next to me, the apartment building, I would see like right there. That way, that way, due west is the Rocky Mountains, the Front Range. The park that I took, that we do good donning at, it's like 45 degrees now, but the park that we were doing good donning at, if you go just to the end of the trail and look to the left, you can see from my house or from my neighborhood, the Rocky Mountains from all the way down to Pikes Peak. So you can see the entire state of Colorado, Front Range, the entire mountain range, all the way down. By the time it gets down to Pikes Peak, you can see it as a black hump, which is 150 miles away. So Not in a million years. In Chicago, you can barely see across the street sometimes. But yeah, pretty crazy. You see 150 miles. So like, yeah, one of these days, if I can get the energy, it doesn't translate that well. I got to get a better camera. If I can get somebody with a better camera, like a really good 35 millimeter something, and I'll make a short or a video and play. I can see for miles and miles. And I'll make a short out of it, and you can see all the way down the front. It's insane. Thank you guys. Grateful. It's kind of nice to just kind of humanize this a little bit and just be me. I'm grateful you are all here. Grateful for all of this. Mind blowing is to say the word. And we will do this again tomorrow, where we will go see John Benny and clean up the energetics inside ourselves. We will continue with me hitchhiking around the United States. And what happened on 9/10 as I'm leaning against a 50-story building. That's 9/10, 9/11, right? 9/10/2001. And where I ended up is insane. It gets even crazier. And hopefully, if nothing else, you can use this story to realize that, yeah, if you ground in your universe, and hopefully you can see it in your life, that your universe has always been out there, always been with you if you allow it to be with you. There we go. All right, guys, I love you. And I'm going to go film ISIS real quick and post that. And I will see you all in the next. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. Stay amazing. And remember, not in our universe. Anytime you hear anybody talk about the big Hurricane Milton there causing them, like, not in my universe, it's not causing any damage. And just remember the energetics they're putting out there. They're actually creating, they're driving in towards what we don't want to see in the first place. They're creating those energetics. And they don't know it, and they don't see it, and people don't know what they're doing. Even the press doesn't realize the terrific damage that's going to occur. There's something terrific about it, and you're just helping to add to it. I love you. Stay awesome. Bunch of words, and I will see you all in the next. Thank you. And if you haven't today, go check out Chris the Volunteer. Check out his Gabrielle card of the day. And as well, Blindly Inspired posted something too. Please check it out. Jared as well posted some pictures. Huda, check his channel out as well. Huda is giving us, at least while he can, the best he can do where he's at there. So he's figured out a way to share his universe with us while he's traveling. At least for now. I don't know when he gets to India. That's for a totally different story. We may just get one large video on the back end there. But otherwise, stay awesome. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next.